From corporate sustainability executive to entrepreneur. With me today is Gail Tavill, franchise owner at the Junkluggers, and I am delighted to introduce you to this eco-conscious junk removal pioneer who's helping close the loop and drive a circular economy one household at a time. I'm Jeff Wooster, Global Sustainability Director at Dow, and you're watching Looped In, a conversation series about unlocking the power of the circular economy. Welcome, Gail, and thanks for joining me today. Can you start off by telling us a little bit about Junkluggers?
Sure, Jeff. Thanks so much for having me. The Junkluggers is an eco-friendly and caring junk removal company. We remove furniture, we remove any kind of junk that people have that they may no longer want, but may have another life. And so our goal, our big mission at the Junkluggers is to give anything that can have another life that opportunity to. So that's our mission at the Junkluggers.
That's great. So tell us how the service works.
Sure. It's actually quite simple. The service works when a customer calls up and says, I have something I don't need anymore that I want to get rid of. We price by volume. So our trucks are all consistent sizes, and we charge in increments of how much you fill in the truck. And the service includes it's full service. So our crew comes out, they give people a no obligation estimate right there on site. And if the customer agrees with the pricing, then my crew goes to work and removes the items. And so the crews come out, they take the materials, they put them in our truck. We do all the sorting. So we sort for recycling, we sort for donation, we sort for repurposing. And then there is some stuff that is truly not usable for any further purpose. And those we take responsibly to a transfer station when we need to.
I love the fact that you're doing a full service offering where you give people lots of different services that you're providing to them. Can you give us an example of some of the other practices that you have to make sure that you're as sustainable as possible with how you get rid of waste and how you help put things back to new use by closing that loop and putting things back into the circular economy when they in fact do have another lifetime?
Yeah, certainly. So I mentioned that when we remove items from a customer's home, particularly furniture, we take extra care to make sure that we don't damage them. One other trick that I learned from a fellow franchisee is oftentimes customers need us to bag or box up items where they're in a last minute move and it's a crunch. We keep two kinds of bags on the truck. We keep black contractor bags for things that really don't have an extra life. And we also keep clear contractor bags for things that are recyclable or donatable. So I've trained my crews that when they're on site, they have a better eye now for what they think we can donate, toys, clothes, games, kitchenware, things of that nature. They go into the clear bags, and the stuff that we can't donate goes in the black bags, so that when we get back to our facility, we can do a faster sort and be more efficient about that. And so it's really getting the crews trained on what is potentially salvageable and what isn't.
You've hit on several important themes there: the importance of training and understanding, and the importance also of sorting, keeping the recyclables separate from the non-recyclables to make sure that they can be used properly. I can clearly hear it in your voice that you're very passionate about this business. Can you tell us what it is about it that really drives you and motivates you, and why you find it so important to do this?
Yeah, I think for me, the reason that I'm so excited about this business is I've spent a really long time in my career talking about doing a better job with keeping things circular, keeping the molecule in play. People laugh at me when I say that, but it's sort of my tagline. And this way I can actually do it. And I can do it in a very functional way and teach other people how to do it. And so I think some of my crew, I have three full-time guys on my staff and a couple of part-timers. I think they've tested me a few times to see how serious I was about it. And they consistently are surprised at my response to, some of their pushes. Oh, that's just junk. Oh, no, it's not. There's metal here. There's wood here. They can be separated without a lot of effort. So we're going to do that. And so now they're learning and they're becoming, sort of accolades about it as well.
I think that's great. And I think it's fantastic that you've taken the opportunity to teach other people about it, because the more people that understand how to recover value from materials, the better off we'll all be and the more sustainable our planet will be. Can you give us perhaps a story or two about some of the more unusual items that you've collected and that you found new homes for?
Yeah, the one of the most fun jobs we get, fun in quotes, is pianos. Our very first week in operation, we got a piano, a big one, an upright piano that was very tall, very long, and it had to come down a half a flight of stairs. We did it. We bought a new piece of equipment, and we figured out how to do it. And since then, I think we're now up to our 10th piano and a pipe organ. So those items are really, really interesting because they're awkward and they're heavy, and they really don't have any value for donation. I think we called everyone we could possibly think of that would want a piano. So we found out by watching a YouTube video, how do you take a piano apart? Because I'm not going to throw an 800-pound piano that is loaded with wood and metal into a landfill. And so we bought a couple of specialty tools, and whenever we get a piano, my guys take it down. They break it apart. It took us 4 hours to do the first one. We can now do it in about 45 minutes. And so we're getting really good at disassembling pianos. Do you have any hints for people at home that are trying to clean out their house or clean out their garage or clean out their closet, of what they can do to make better use of the materials that they have on hand, besides just calling you, of course, which is a great solution. But do you have any tips for people at home of what they can do? Yeah, I think the most important thing people can do at home is to educate themselves on what could have another life versus not. And so there are many things that can be donated or recycled that people just don't even think about. So if you just take a few extra steps to separate materials, a lot of them have a life. Now, it is a little bit more difficult sometimes for consumers to do some things that I can do because I can aggregate. So most consumers are not going to take an old china hutch or an armoire to a wood chipper for recycling because they have a minimum. Right. Most consumers don't want to pay the minimum price, but I'm always over the minimum because I only go when I have a full truck, and when I have a full truck, it's way more than the minimum. So I'm happy to pay their fee, and their fee is less than half of what I would pay to send it to a landfill. So it's just obvious that we would do that. It's not quite as easy for an everyday consumer to use those same strategies. I always advise people to use professional services whenever they're able to, because the professionals know things to do that the average people don't know to do on their own. So I think it's great advice in this case too. Gail, do you have any final words that you'd like to share with our audience, or final bits of wisdom that you might want to offer? Well, you asked about things that consumers can do. One would be electronics and televisions. A lot of municipalities allow consumers 1 or 2 of those a year to discard them, and they do recycle them. When I have to recycle them, I pay a lot of money to recycle televisions. If you have a TV that you need to get rid of, find out if your municipality will let you put it to the curb once or twice a year, because that's way more efficient than having us come get it. In closing, a circular world isn't that far out of reach, with change makers like Gail Tavill and Junkluggers adjusting our mindset, taking us away from the linear take, make, use, dispose system of old and turning us towards a new system where materials are treated like resources that are valuable and that can help create new products and new solutions for tomorrow. Thank you very much, Gail, for joining us today and sharing some of your story with us. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Be sure to tune in and check out our other episodes, including conversations with Fundación Avina, with Kraft Heinz, with Sealed Air, and many others. You can find them online at dow.com/looped-in. I'm your host, Jeff Wooster. You've been watching Looped In, a conversation series focused on unlocking the power of the circular economy. Until next time, goodbye.